Hey, welcome back. If you haven't seen part one, go back and watch part one because this is part two. We're now picking up with our favorite moments 5 through 8. The group has just entered the hilltop. Here we go.
But all of this led up to the next favorite moment, which was the introduction to Gregory.
Right.
Now, a lot of people might be like, I don't know who this guy is. This guy's from the comics. And in the comics, the dude's a dick. And he the guy they got to play him was perfect. They nailed it. They do such a good job on casting when they pick up these people to play these different parts. This guy, when you see him, and I think you mentioned this, Richie, when you see this guy, you're like, man, he looks like he's up to no good. You know what I'm saying?
I got a bad feeling when he walked down. I was like, man, I don't trust him.
Yeah, he kind of has that persona about him, and then he plays the part just like a complete just jerk. You know, he's dismissing, just dismissing everyone and just kind of be like, oh, I want you to get clean. Want you to get clean. You know, just not want to talk. And that just kind of, he comes off like a total douche.
Yeah, he really is. He's talking to Rick, and like Rick's like, we're fine. And he's like, it's hard to keep this plate. Rick composes himself, calms down. He says, yeah, we'll go get clean. Tells Maggie, you get clean first and you go talk to him. Maggie's like, why me? And he's like, because I don't need to. And you just know, like, Rick wants to grab this guy by the throat. And so I found that whole conversation weird at first between Gregory and Maggie because they don't have any weapons. Like, they don't have anything. And he doesn't even want to deal. Like, he just basically wants them to come and work. Like, I don't want to say slaves, but hey, man, come work for us. We'll give you some goods instead of doing a trade.
He's talking up what he has.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he has isn't the best, but he's talking it up like, oh, what we got's better than your stuff is crap.
Right.
It's just that like kind of that negotiation process. Like, he's really like that shark negotiator. Like, all we got's better than yours. Your stuff is crap. And like throws her off her game a little bit because I don't think she was expecting that.
Right. I don't think anybody was because that was the whole reason why they come. Like, that was Jesus' mission was to go out and find other groups to trade with. So, that was the whole deal with Gregory, and I liked it, and I thought it was pretty cool. Takes us into favorite moment number 6, which was the assassination attempt on Gregory. And like these dudes come in, like some stock dudes, like they don't have many fighters, but apparently those were the fighters they had out of this group. They come in, they try to kill him. They made a mistake because they tried to kill him not knowing Rick and company was there, and they got booked. Holy moly, they just jacked up all of them. And I was like, this is awesome. They finally get the fight, and they just went to town. Look, man, Rick stabbed that dude in the throat. He didn't even try to move his neck. It's like he was just bathing in blood. He was like, all right, it's time to make my entrance.
No, it was that whole sequence. Literally not exactly scene by scene, but that takes place in the comics. So that entire situation where they try, Negan basically sends him back to kill Gregory, that is in the comics. So I was expecting that when the guy's name was Ethan because that's the name of the character in the comics. But it was funny because this guy, first off, this guy's big. Okay. Mm-hmm. Rick's just doing everything he can to fight. But when that guy's on top of Rick and then he turns around, Michonne's there like, don't touch my man.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she was ready to just, samurai his head right off. And when she says that and he looks, dude, that's all the time it is. Just bam, right in the jugular, man. And like you said, Rick's just sitting there just like covered in blood. If Rick doesn't introduce himself covered in someone's neck blood, then something's off.
Right.
He needs to have neck blood all over his face. I was just waiting for him to bite his throat out at that point. I'm like, man, this is Rick. This is what he does.
Everybody was looking at him. He's just kind of like, what? This is completely normal. That chick comes up and punches Rick. Michonne body slams her down like, don't. I have to bring this up. Right? I have to bring this up. Did you notice, did you pay more attention to Rick and Michonne? Like, through this episode, like little stuff, just like that. Like, if she'd have done that before, we wouldn't have thought about it. But now we're putting this spin on like, that's her man now. Don't mess with him. There was a scene where Rick's trying to make an executive decision later on, and Michonne's in the background. She just says, we can do it. Like, she speaks up like, I'm his right hand. I'm his queen. Like, I don't know. That's just what I took from it. Anyway, Nate, go ahead. I just wanted to point that out.
No, she's playing that role. It's very similar to the role that is played by Andrea in the comics because Andrea and him become a thing in the comics, and she's kind of feeling that role as like his lady, his presidential lady there to be backing him up. Which is which is cool because it's instantaneous and it feels natural. It doesn't feel weak.
It does. It really
does.
So
you have that situation going on. And the fact that the girl, obviously it seemed like maybe that girl and that guy had a thing. And again, it seems kind of like, wow, this group, our group, the group that we want, man, they just jack these people up. But these guys are weak and they're trying to, our group is not the kind of group that you fake attack and be like, sorry about that. When you attack them, dude, they're going for blood. They're going for the jugular. It's all there is to it. You don't mess with them. And then when they react like that, you're like, well, what did you expect? You come after us, we're gonna defend ourselves, you know? Right. So it was just, that whole sequence was really interesting. But that led into my next favorite moment, and that was just when they sat down and you basically had Jesus explain the whole Negan and the Savior's situation. Okay, now it's out there. We know that Rick even mentions, like, well, what's the deal with Negan? You know, Daryl and them ran into a few people like that a while back. He knows of him, but now it's been laid out there. Okay, now it's been laid out there by Jesus. He's explained who they are, who his people are, saviors, talking about they've seen him in groups of 20, the fact that they're out there, basically that they come in, they basically are basically mob style offering protection. Hey, give us half your stuff and we won't kill you. Yeah. Basically is how they're doing it. And they're a big group and they're scared of them because look at, dude, they got spears. What are they going to do? Throw spears at them. Right. So the situation, they explain it. You got just, it really, really starting to set the table for what we're going to get. Yeah,
it was awesome. That was also the scene when, when they mentioned the name, Daryl's just like, they ain't nothing. They was like, what do you mean? And Abraham's like, yeah, we left a group of them a couple months ago back in Pieces and Puddles. Yeah. We blew them to smithereens. And so they're kind of familiar. Rick and them, he's like, hey, confrontation's been no issue with us before. And, Maggie goes to talk to him and she's like, we've dealt with people like Negan before. And he was like, how? And he was like, they're dead. And it's just like, yo, this crew's going in hard. And it's really exciting. They got this new group Hilltop, and now they got the new group of the Saviors, and stuff's about to go down. Moving into favorite moment number 8, and that is when the group's now kind of talking about, this kind of happens before, but we saved it for the end because of the foreshadowing that we think might be implicated here. And that's when the group's talking about Negan and the fact with Hilltops, like, yo, we need this. We need to be able to trade with these people. We got to go to war with Negan. And Maggie says, it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost lives, right? Like they're going to go into a place like they're about to get into war.
I'm wondering, it's interesting because when she says it, I think she's thinking of it from a different perspective. I think she's thinking that it's going to cost us because we're basically becoming mercenaries almost. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to go out, we're going to take people out just because they're bad people without any particular reason other than for us to survive.
Like they haven't attacked us, they haven't messed with us, we haven't even met. Well, technically, because they did try to take
they have, but it's not like they're on their doorsteps, and like, hey, we're gonna have to fight. With the wolves, they came to them. Right. With the governor, they came to them. With I guess technically with the people from Terminus, they sort of they've made the first shots basically.
Right. They come to look to be friendly, but they got attacked.
Right. This is a turn of events where our group is going to be the aggressor. Right. Okay. This is going to be a whole different thing. And I think she realizes that. I think she's worried about how that's going to change them. But it's also very looming, like prophetic moment when she says it's going to cost us something. I think as fans, we all realize that there's going to be some big cost to come.
Yeah. Like maybe a piece of themselves. Like now that you say that, think about, and we see it in the previews where Rick's like, they're going to come after us eventually. That's the same sentiment and speech that the governor was giving his people. These people in the prison are dangerous, and we got to go to them first. And because of that, you saw what happened.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the parallels between this is unbelievable. Just the fact that their group is starting to kind of look almost more like that kind of scared attacking group now, and this is different. But I don't think they know what they're up against, and I think that's going to be the big deal.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks like next week's going to be big.
Yeah, so much, guys. Sorry, this one ran just a little bit longer than normal, but man, this was probably one of my favorite episodes. Like even after the mid-season premiere, this mid-season premiere was just like shocking, all crazy, edge of your seat moments. You can't keep a show sustained like that if you don't. This is a setup episode, and it's probably one of the best we've ever seen. I loved everything about it. But anyway, guys, let us know in the comment section below, what was your favorite moment? If you can pick just one out of this episode, comment in the section below and tell us about it. If you like this video, then hit the like button and do subscribe. if you want to see more stuff like this. And until next time, guys, we're out.
See ya.